What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another WornKibbles video. Today, I've got a crazy story for you guys about the time that me and my friends thought we were actually going to get murdered by a crazy guy in the middle of the woods. It was actually insane. We were terrified. We thought we were gonna die, but my trauma is once again your pleasure. So sit back, relax, and let's get right into it. Alright, so this story starts off with me and my group of friends just going around town. You know, we're having a good time, we're hanging out, and one of the things about my town is that there's like a really nice nature trail in it. Like, the town has spent a lot of money to make this giant nature trail. It goes tons and tons of miles, and so every once in a while we'll go like hike on it, we'll go run on it, you know, whatever, we'll go biking. But one of these days we were out there on the nature trail, and I decided to go off the trail just a little bit. You know, I'm a bit of an adventurous guy, and when I go off the trail, I find the opening to a cave. And so, you know, maybe it wasn't the smartest idea, but I decide that I'm going inside this cave. So I crawl inside this cave. The opening is like about as big as my shoulders. I crawl through this tiny opening in this cave, and inside there's just a long corridor, and then it opens up into like a big room. And so I run back to all my friends. I'm like, guys, you gotta see what I just found. And so, of course, they followed me into this cave, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, this is genuinely the coolest thing ever. So obviously, we turned it into like a bit of a secret hideout. Like, one of my friends brought a power bank, like a power generator. We put Christmas lights up inside that thing. We brought a record player in there. We would just hang out in there. It was super, super great. Like, it literally felt like the stuff that you would see as like teenagers would hang out in movies. Like, it was crazy. But obviously, one of my friends had to go further and was kind of like, yo, dude, we should come back here at night. And of course, we're like high schoolers. We're all like, hell yeah, bro. That sounds amazing. What could possibly go wrong there? Who knows? There's definitely couldn't be a crazy guy like chasing us around the woods at night. Like, that's not real. So of course, we all plan that we're gonna go back there at like 6 and then just stay there till like 9 or something, like when it's dark outside, right? But a key concept to this story is the fact that when you're out there in the cave, there is no cell reception. This nature trail was like far enough away from like the main city part of our town that when you were out there, you couldn't call anybody. Not even a little text would go through. So there were a few of our friends who like couldn't drive. They were still young enough where like their parents had to drive them places. And so they had to like coordinate with their parents like, hey, I don't have cell phone reception, which means you have to be here at this time. And if you want me to come earlier, that literally won't work. And so everybody's parents was kind of like cool with it. We talked them into it. I talked them into it. And honestly, looking back on it, I don't know how I talked everybody's parents into like letting me bring them to a cave that I found in the middle of the night. Like, it was a little bit of like one of those things where it was like, oh my goodness, our parents are never going to let us do something this cool again. But anyway, we get out there and we head into the cave, and it's great. It's like super cool. We are stoked to be there, like genuinely, and we feel like we're in a freaking movie. But like all good movies do, it comes to an end. So eventually, after we had been like talking, hanging out in the cave for so long, we've been listening to music, you know, everything, it was getting close to the time that one of our friends had to be picked up. So we decided that we were going to start walking back to the parking lot where we had like arranged this pickup with his parents. And you know, honestly, it sucked. It was sad. Like, we didn't want to leave, but at the same time, like, we didn't have enough cell reception to like text them and be like, hey, can we stay later? So we kind of had to be there at the pickup point to make sure that they didn't think we died or anything. So his parents were going to pick him up at like 9, and we decided that we were going to be in the parking lot at 8:50. That way we wouldn't miss each other, nothing would go wrong. We didn't want to cause any problems. We definitely wanted our parents to like let us do something like this again because it was really cool. So, you know, like, just make sure we're early and being on time and stuff. So it's like 8:45 and we start walking to the parking lot. It's like a 5-minute walk. We'd be there at 8:50. And we are walking down this trail in the middle of the night. It's like we got lucky because it was one of those like full moon nights where the moon was like super bright. So like we could see where we were walking, but it was still like dark. And as we're like almost around the corner to this parking lot where his parents are supposed to pick him up, and we can see that somebody's in the parking lot. Like they have their headlights on their car, and then we just hear a yell. We just hear from the parking lot, we hear some dude scream a word, and it wasn't exactly a nice word. It might have started with an F or something like that. And immediately following the screaming of this word, we heard a huge like thunk, as if this guy had screamed angrily and then punched his car. So now there is a super angry man who is screaming and punching things in the parking lot where my friend's parents are supposed to pick him up. And so obviously me and all my friends, we stop. We're like, uh-oh, what do we do? Like, we're kind of scared here. We're a little bit on edge, you know? And then the dude just starts screaming. So me and my friends, we start booking it back down the other way of the trail, like down back towards the cave. And we're like, should we go back in the cave? And I'm like, no, don't go back in the cave, because if the dude finds the cave and he comes into the cave, then there's no exit. Like, we're trapped in the cave with some maniac. So we just keep running down this trail until we find a trail bathroom. So there's like 4 or 5 of us, and we all squeeze into this single stall trail bathroom, like whole toilet thing. It smells bad in there. We have like 1 candle for our light because for some reason we were stupid and we thought, hey, it would be cool if instead of using flashlights, we used candles to explore this cave. I know, like stupid, but you know, this whole thing wasn't very well planned out, as you can tell. And so now we can like faintly hear this guy screaming in the distance. We're all like squeezed into this tiny bathroom and we're like terrified, like genuinely scared that we are gonna die because there's just some crazy guy screaming in the parking lot. We can't get past him because he's literally like where we need to go home. My car is in that parking lot as well. Like, none of us can leave. And on top of that, we have 0 cell phone reception. So we can't tell anybody. We can't call the cops. We can't call anybody. And just when we thought that it like couldn't get any worse, we start looking around this bathroom, right? And when we look around this bathroom, we find that it is covered in spiders. And I don't mean like small spiders. I mean like spiders the size of your palm. And honestly, that doesn't bother me like too much. I mean, it's a little bit freaky, but I can tell that they're like they're wolf spiders, and wolf spiders aren't like venomous. They're not going to kill you if they bite you. So I'm not too scared by them. However, my friend whose dad we were going to meet in the parking lot had arachnophobia. So he starts freaking out. Like, he's like, let me out of the stall. And dude, we're like, no, there's a crazy murderer out there. We are not letting you out of the stall. So he's like freaking out in this stall. We're freaking out when we go out of the stall. Like, there is genuinely 0 good endings to this story. We're gonna die. But anyway, we calm him down as best we can, and we just stay in there. And we stay in that stall for like 30 whole minutes. This dude is screaming. Eventually, we hear the car turn on and leave. So we're like, oh my goodness, this is our chance. We gotta like make a break for it. So we open the stall door and we run to this parking lot. And we all get inside my car and lock the door. That way, if the guy comes back to the parking lot, like we're semi-safe inside my car, right? Like, he's not gonna get through a locked car door, at least I hope. And basically, we just wait there until my friend's dad shows up. And so my friend's dad gets there and everything, and we're like, dude, we heard some like crazy guy in the parking lot. We were terrified. We tell him like this whole ordeal, like what just happened to us. And his dad just goes, yeah, that was me. I was yelling for you guys. Didn't you hear me? Like, you guys had me super, super worried when I couldn't find anybody. I walked down the trail even. I looked in the cave and I didn't see any of you guys. And so we're all like, oh crap. Like, we thought that this guy's dad was some murderer, that he was gonna kill all of us, dude. So we went and hid from him, which made it even worse. But honestly, that can't be our fault. Like, if we hear a guy screaming at night in the middle of the woods, like, that's creepy. We're gonna run away. Honestly, I think we did the smart thing, no matter if it was his dad or not. So, like, you can't blame me. You can't blame me. Come on. But anyway, that's about it for the story. It was insane. Moral of the story, I guess, is if there's a crazy axe murderer in the middle of the woods, then you definitely want to run towards them because it could be your dad. But anyway, if you guys like the story, I'll be posting more stories every single week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, turn notifications on, why don't ya? And as always, have a good one. Thanks for watching.